All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in Dakota for the final series of the day. Already advancing out of this group was indeed Stun representing Spenu, but the last remaining Protoss in this group, on the left side of Coda, he is red, he is aCtive. Possibly representing Team Spectre.
And his opponent, down here in the bottom right-hand side, he's a blue Terran player, Nado.
Look at that dancing SCV, that is adorable.
Beautiful. The APM right now is off the charts.
The charts can't even contain it.
Yeah, Nado has an average. Oh, whatever. His APM was up like 400 a second ago, but
that's like some Hydra level APM.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Pretty sick.
So
or
coming into
Dongregu back in the day.
What? Oh,
Dongregu back in the day. He had some sick APM, man. I saw him hit like 860 or something once during an MLG. I don't remember. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was literally insane.
I don't even. That's like almost impossible to comprehend. Maybe if you use that like smart command hotkey, where you can like just spam out like 10,000 APM because of the way it repeats commands.
Maybe.
But
it was like it wasn't even like that he could have been spamming. It was during a Lingbei Muta engagement. I think it was just him doing things.
DRG, man.
Pretty insane. Yeah.
What a legend.
1-2 dong.
All right, let's calm down. At any rate, coming into our last best of 3, both of these guys have lost a match to Stun. Of course, if you guys are familiar with typical ASL, then you're probably wondering, well, what the heck? Wasn't there supposed to be a 4th guy? There was, but he didn't show up, so he kind of got kicked out of the group. Played a round robin, and this is how it ended up. Nado and aCtive both lost to Stun. So now we come to the decider, best of 3, to see exactly who else will advance on out of this group alongside Stun. Another PvT, and hey, you know what? Reaper Expand, 13 gate. I think it was 17 or 18 Cybercore into, 23 Nexus. So pretty macro-oriented from both players. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, pretty regular. Nado, interestingly enough, actually leaving that Reaper at home. I guess he is a little worried about something coming across the map, but nothing's actually going to be coming his way. I think it was just aCtive hiding that Nexus quite well. The probe was kind of hiding in the back of the base as Nado's scouting SCV came in. But either way, the Mothership Core's already out. The Reaper wouldn't be able to get anything done now. And it's just going to look around the map, check for proxies. Nado's already been caught off guard once in this group by a proxy robo. I'm sure he doesn't want to again. Yeah, on Coda indeed.
Oh, no.
No, it wasn't. It was on Echo. Yeah. It was on Echo.
Dang it, Nado. This is your proxy, or not your proxy. This is your hidden CC map. Come on. CC map, don't let us down.
You're only allowed to have one build for each map. Didn't anybody tell you that, Nado? It's in the rules. But yeah, there is just one. Well, there's 3 spots left in the round of 16. One of them up for grabs now. And the 2 players will enter this game. And when one of them leaves, they'll be in the round of 16, and one of them will not be. The Robo is going down now for aCtive as well, electing that as his first kind of big tech choice. And I always like this kind of putting the pylon on the high ground and then using it to power the robotic facility on the low ground. I don't know why. It's just pretty cool.
Well, it's one of those cutesy moves that as a new player, you wouldn't necessarily think of that right away. And, well, the pylon nor the Robo facility even get scouted. So he technically doesn't know, is it Blink? Could be Dark Templar. I guess technically it also could have been Stargate, but probably not. He doesn't know that it's Robo, so that's a little bit annoying. The other interesting thing from Nado is he did actually open up 3 racks to follow up, well, his 12 racks expand into the additional racks. So he's not going 1-1-1. There's not going to be any drops or medevacs in the near future. Instead, he's opting for that stim a little bit more quickly. And he's dropping the bunker right at the front, so he's maybe a little bit worried about something. I mean, we've seen him get the defensive missile turret in the other games against Stun, and he's doing that once more.
Yeah, always better safe than sorry. And, I mean, yeah, everything looks pretty normal. It's pretty typical to get a defensive missile turret in the bunker at the front anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And these 2 Stalkers moving out and going back home. are actually just going to dance around a little bit. They're going to be around. I thought they were going to do something, but they're not. The Robotics Bay, of course, just about to finish up for aCtive as well, and I'm sure he's going to start himself some Colossi. And given how late his forges are, he'll probably put down 2 of them, but there's always the possibility he just doesn't put down any and tries to just do a big attack that finishes the game. But I think it's more likely that we're going to see there's one. Actually, it doesn't look like he's going to be going for a second one, so his upgrades aren't going to be stellar, really. But I guess we'll see.
Thus far, I think it's just the one engineering base, so I don't know that there's going to be a huge upgrade lead, at least not just yet, for Nado. Of course, he will have that +1, a fair bit faster than his Protoss counterpart. He's also going to be moving across the map with a little bit of some Terran bio. Only 2 Marauders mixed in here, but a healthy number of Marines in total. And Pylon will go down, but that's probably the most that he's really going to be able to claim safely. I guess he could have committed, got a Stalker or 2, but he would have had to sacrifice quite a bit.
Yeah, as it is, he just loses 1 unit to pick off that Pylon, which is, it's fine. It's not great. It's not awful. It's kind of okay. And of course, the main thing is he forced out that Photon Overcharge. This is kind of a dance as old as the Mothership core itself, really. The Terran player runs in, forces out the Photon Overcharge, then just goes all the way back across the map back home. And it's just a thing that happens. But now Blink, all the upgrades aCtive wants on the way. Blink, Colossus range, and +1 armor. +1 armor kind of makes it look like he wants to go for a fairly fast third into the Storm, because generally you want the attack upgrades or double upgrades if you're going to be sticking around on Colossus for a while, because Colossus do benefit from that attack upgrade, whereas Storm doesn't. And the Zealots that you'd go into a kind of heavy Templar-based composition do fantastically against Bio with some armor upgrades to really help mitigate that damage. But we will see. There's always there's a lot of possibilities for both, really.
Following this up from our Terran player, going to be racks number 4 and 5. It's always nice to see, a player who's deciding to go for that triple racks opening into the factory starport, into 2 more racks before that 3rd CC. It does lend him a fair few Terran bio units to push out on the map, and of course, now that he's actually got medevac support, he can make better use of that stim. Combat Shield's going to be finishing up momentarily, and then of course he's got just medevacs being cranked all the time. He might be able to do some damage, but it's going to require him catching a good angle on this Protoss army.
Yeah, it should be pretty possible. Scan goes down to make sure there's no observers. I don't think it actually did catch one because I don't think anyone's there. But 3 Colossi here are going to mean Nado basically just has to kind of turn around and go home. The Stalkers, though, can blink and will. But actually, a bit of a miss micro is going to cause aCtive to kill one of his own Stalkers. That is a bit of a mistake, to say the least. But it's not the worst thing. I mean, yeah, Nado's just kind of back on out. There are a couple of proximans down the bottom left here for aCtive, even when he decides to actually start moving across the map and start putting the aggression on. And yeah, it looks like that time is going to be basically now. The observers getting good ideas of kind of where Nado's army is. And Nado's going to move back home, build a bunker, and turtle himself up. But this does mean he's going to be forfeiting his 3rd base. Yes, and the cancel goes down now. So this could end up being a bit of a problem.
It may be a difficult hold. 1 fire. Nope. Both Widow Mines completely missing there as the Blink will save those Stalkers. Vikings going to be getting a couple of shots off, but there is not a fantastic number of Vikings here. It's just the 2. The Marauders are going to be able to help hold this off. Now on the other side of the map, the drop going to be coming in for Nado. Can he actually do that damage? He's been shut down at his 3rd, but can he mitigate it with some nice probe kills? Photon Overcharge firing off pretty much immediately. He right-clicks on that Nexus. He's got it in his scope. He is going to be able to take down that main Nexus, and now this triggers our aCtive Protoss player to move into the natural of the Terran.
Yeah, he has to get some damage done here. He's taken quite a lot at home, but it looks like he's being successful so far in pushing through. Those 4 Vikings now, taking down the 1st Colossus, getting to work on the 2nd, but the Stalkers will blink under them and start focus firing them down. The SCVs are desperately trying to repair that bunker. It has to stay up, and it will for Nado. As another Colossus falls, aCtive is going to retreat.
And Nado, again, tearing through the main base of the Protoss player. He has to hold here at his natural, but he drops more mules. He's confident he can hold. He steps forward. He's trying to snap down that Colossus, and he takes out one. GG! And Nado will take game number 1. quickly turning it around. I mean, that was a scary-looking Protoss attack.
Nado.
One game to advance on for Nado. He scouts over by his third. He's like, all right, I got no proxy robo. He himself going to be going for that 14cc, so he is feeling confident.
APM.
Amazing DRG status right now. I didn't get to pull up the APM tab before it.
Yep, around
1,300.
1,300. Yep.
Wow.
What's the scouter say about his APM level?
It's over 1,200.
But yeah, Nado's going to be going for that 14cc he has favored so much once again. And yeah, we'll see how this matches him up against aCtive. He's obviously going to maintain or get a little bit of an early econ lead if he can fend off any kind of counter aggression. The 2 racks following up. He's liked this build. He's done very well with it in 2 games, or at least in 1 game. But I think in the game he went against the other Protoss in this group, it doesn't actually work out so well for him when, you know, he didn't have the benefit of actually hiding it somewhere. So we'll see whether aCtive scouts, and if so, how he responds to Nado's early greed.
SCV scout going to be coming in. He's going to be seeing that Nexus. He's going to be like, all right, well, you didn't go for, you know, too crazy of a Nexus timing, assuming he clicked on it, and was able to approximate the completion. But that second rack's going to be finishing up as you said. So the next question is, of course, does he go for a, you know, CC and then go for, you know, like a third racks? What is exactly his plan? There we go. Third racks. So he's just going for the triple racks. And assuming he's playing similarly to the previous games, we can expect the Tech Lab, relatively quick stem, push forward with some Marine Marauder action, and then he's just going to be like, hey, aCtive, don't you want to use that photon overcharge? Okay, peace out, see ya.
Yeah, most likely. And this, I think this is actually a departure from what he's done in his previous games. I'm pretty sure he's gone for that factory in his other games. So it's interesting to see what he does with this. The Stargate is going to be the choice coming out of aCtive. So we'll see whether he goes for just like 1 or 2 oracles, or whether he goes for a more kind of Phoenix-based composition, potentially Phoenix Colossus. I'm always up for some Phoenix Colossus. And yeah, we'll wait and see about that. But Nado currently moving out across the map with a very, very small force of Marines.
Yeah.
Might end up not even forcing out Photon Overcharge. We'll see, actually. There's actually only 1 Stalker. I thought there were 2. So he'll probably get aCtive to use a Photon Overcharge. And this will be very good using it this early in the game.
Yep, I mean, he gets it. Oh my word, is he going to get the Mothership Core as well? He snipes that down, and he's still got those 3 Marines to get eaten up. And wowzers. So he gets a probe. 5 Marines for a probe, a Photon Overcharge, and the Mothership Core. The Oracle is going to be the follow-up. We've already got 2 missile turrets on the way, though.
None too shabby. Not to mention also the fact that Nado did manage to scout not only the Stargate, but the fact it was building an Oracle with those 5 Marines. So those all deserve Medals of Honor, posthumously, of course, unfortunately for their wives and families. But you know what? At least they'll have a nice shiny medal to hang on the wall, and they'll be able to tell their descendants about that time great-great-grandpappy saved the entire Terran colony of Echo. But
true.
We'll see. The Oracle is now making its way across the map, but due to that valuable scouting information, Nado does have the required preparations for it, and looks like he's going to be trying to catch it out. And this does put the Marines a little bit on the map. Maybe the Oracle can find 1 or 2 SCVs on the edge of the missile turret's range. It's going to try. Yep, that's going to be 3-did SCVs, or 2-did SCVs, which is, I mean, it's not very good for an Oracle, but it's pretty good considering how prepared Nado was for it.
Of course, keeping that Oracle alive means that he can try to swoop back in. Missile turret coverage is reasonable enough that he probably won't get crazy SCV kills, but hey, he picks another one up in the middle of the map. He's even going to get a Marine, and of course, every bit of... Well, no, never mind. He runs out of energy. He won't get the Marine. He's halfway through paying for that Oracle, though. He's up to 3 SCV kills, so... Of course, not good, but again, all things considered, like you said, not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. And Phoenix is actually coming out of the Stargate as a follow-up, so we could still see Phoenix Colossus yet as the Robotics Bay comes down as well for those all-important Colossi. Just the single upgrades as well. I mean, if you're going Phoenixes and Colossi, you cannot afford the gas for double upgrades. Phoenixes, they're not too expensive in and of themselves. They're only, I think, 150, 100. But they take 35 seconds to build, which is very, very short. If you're chronoing them out, they take even less than that, of course. And actually, a little stim runner chords, again, looking for that mother core. They're going to find it, and they go straight on through to the main base. They snipe down the sentry first, ensuring they could do that. And 1, 2, 3, just 3 workers go down. But still, another small group of Marines doing wonders for Nado.
So he does trade out, I think, 12 Marines for that, and he's lost 5 SCVs overall in this game, which is certainly annoying. Gets himself an extra couple of probe kills. I'm not sure. I mean, he only killed 1 sentry, but he got the Mothership Core again, so maybe that will end up being worth it, of course. That energy on the Mothership Core being so, so important, and he's depleted it twice now.
Yeah, he has. Not to mention just killing it each time. Cutting into the probe production again, really, of aCtive. If aCtive wants to remake that Mothership Core, he has to be not producing probes from that Nexus for a little while. So it's kind of equivalent to, like, I think about 2 probe kills, 1.5. I don't exactly recall the relationship between Mothership Core energy and Mothership Core build time and probe build time. But yeah, this drop coming in, it's going to snipe out a pylon. Whoa!
Just Colossi.
But actually, it's going to be completely doomed as these Phoenixes are going to be able to chase the drop down. The focus fire isn't great, though, on those medevacs. And actually, 1 Phoenix is going to go down. 1 Phoenix is barely going to go down as Nado does manage to unload. Oh my god, and he gets a Colossus for it as well. So actually, fantastic drop there by Nado, and a little bit more attention needs to be paid to those Phoenixes by aCtive. This is why Phoenix Colossus is such a demanding composition. You have to be constantly babysitting those Phoenixes. They are in many ways so fragile, such high potential units that you need so much of your time dedicated to using them correctly, and of course nailing all your macro back on.
This Nado kid, I don't know how he manages to do this. He's just like, every time he steps forward, he manages to get the damage done that he honestly shouldn't be able to get done. Colossus without range, of course, it's always going to be under threat of those Marauders. And I believe for those engagements he didn't have range, but then he just like kept walking into the Marauders, and he's like, yes, please, shoot at me. And hey, you know what? If you got 4 Marauders bearing down on that Colossi, then it doesn't take too long to kill it. Oracle, once again, going to be heading in. Is he going to be kind of channeling Trap's Wing Commander powers? Maybe he'll get the CC delay at least.
Yeah, it's possible. And that Oracle comes in again. Looks for a few more work kills. Gets 3. But does get taken out by those 2 Vikings. Unfortunately, chooses the wrong direction to escape. Runs into the waiting guns of those Marines.
9 kills on that Oracle, though.
That's true.
Overall, it was worth it.
Overall, it was worth it, but I mean, you really want those. The SCV kills matter so much less at this stage in the game, so it's okay though. It's still okay. And the second Stargate coming in as well for aCtive. This is going to be beautiful Phoenix Colossus play. A couple of expands coming in, and of course, +1 weapons as well finishing up. Really helps out those Colossi. The Colossus count currently really quite low. He's been investing a lot more into those Phoenixes, and I'd really love to see the fleet we can come down and Phoenix range, because that's when they start to become really deadly, really just basically stopping the Terran player from getting any medevacs. 7 range on Phoenixes with their range upgrade means they can just slap away at those medevacs from way outside the range of the Marines, and even actually pretty close to Viking range. Vikings stop trading at all cost efficiently with Phoenixes once you get a certain number. The critical mass of Phoenix is enough to one-shot a Viking. I forget exactly how many that is, but I'm pretty sure it's less than what aCtive currently actually does have. And he's been producing them 2 at a time, getting upgrades for them as well. It's going to be some pretty 6A play.
Those 2 medevacs decide to turn around over on the left side. They don't want to commit just quite yet. Nado has an opportunity to step forward with forces on both sides, kind of hitting that 3rd with the drop, and then while he's engaging the main army. We'll see if he actually goes for that option, but You mentioned the Viking versus Phoenix count. It's currently 12 Vikings to 10 Phoenix. I don't know if that's quite enough. I guess it depends on how much the Marines are... Well, what exactly the Marines are shooting. Oh, some nice shots coming off from these Phoenix, but can this Terran do it?
Well, the thing is, these Vikings have to be focused down the Colossus to allow the Bio to actually survive. So they're all going to die to these Phoenixes, but they do take out every single Colossus first. And that is the important part. Now, just the Zealots left aren't really going to be able to strike cost-efficient US with the Bio. They don't... Oh, they do have charge, but their kiting backwards is just a little too strong. However, the Phoenixes now coming in, they've got a lot of energy. They can actually start picking up these units, focus firing down themselves. And yeah, they're going to be able to chase down so effectively. The Sim's going to wear off, there it is, and then the Zealots get one more charge in, and they're going to find it. But reinforcements come in from Nado, and that means aCtive is going to have to turn back.
On the other side of the map, the Nexus went down. Nado takes the GG, and that is a 2-0 for Nado. He advances on alongside Stun. So the Spenu, Protoss, and the... I don't remember how to pronounce that. It's like Y Spider. It's W-A-Y-I.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.